Dear Helen, thank you so much for your wonderful teaching. Everything I hear from you finds a response in my heart. I've been working on my judgment for quite a while already, and I've come to realize that I'm very, very critical and strict with myself, and there is little or no love for myself as well. This is exactly what I'm projecting onto other people. However, I am projecting myself onto them. I couldn't find a meditation for self-compassion. I'd really want to have it from you if it's possible. There's a beautiful meditation called Loving Acceptance of What Is. Yep. So if anyone wants that, it is in the list of on YouTube, Satsang with Helen Hamilton YouTube, on the guided meditations playlist. It's on there. And it's very close to what I think I need. However, I feel that acceptance or love is going from outside to inside, and my inside is empty. Also, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Thank you so much. Much love. P.S. I would love to hear everything about self-compassion. Can this topic be for our extra class? I've read some gurus were assigning to their pupils a year of self-compassion meditation. I can be one of them. So bad is that. So there's a couple of things in what you've written here that really struck me as deeply important here. Firstly, the fact that you're seeing just how critical you are of yourself, how judgmental you are of yourself, and even the fact that you're judging other people, you're judging yourself for that. The fact that you can see it means you're coming out of it already. It may not feel like that, but the first way we come out of it is to begin to actually look at our thought process in a more, with a little distance. When I began to recognize this in myself, pretty much 99.99% of all of my thoughts about myself were either, at very least, disdain, dislike, angry at myself, some of them outright, ways I would never speak to anyone else, hatred, self-hatred, things like that. And it was shocking. It was really shocking. Really shocking. I actually could not get over it for quite some time. It took me a good month or so to really accept, because I was meditating a lot. I was feeling a lot of peace and silence, and most of what was going on in thought process was going on under the surface. And when I actually began to become aware of it, because I was that love more and more, I was being that love, that this critical judgmental stuff could come up in front of me to see. This is where you need to allow this love to flow. This is what you think about yourself on the egoic level. This is what your ego thinks about you, because it thinks it knows you. So that's the first thing. How do we go about self-compassion? You know, I was listening to Ram Dass podcast the other day, and he was talking about, it was an old one, talking about the Dalai Lama and his views on the word compassion. And I was astonished because he said that in the English language, and I'm paraphrasing the Dalai Lama, according to in English language, there is no word for self-compassion. If you look, and I looked this morning, etymology of compassion, it means suffering with others or feeling sorrow or pity for someone who's suffering. So, but not for our own self. The very essence of the word compassion, it excludes ourself here, this body, mind. So I love what you've put here, self-compassion. I like that. So noticing first that you're noticing this. That's the most important thing you could do right now. And there is a satsang I did years ago now called From Self-Hate to Self-Love. I'll try and see if you can link it in the description when this goes up on YouTube. I'd suggest watching that. Not judging the best that you can to not judge the thoughts that come up. Your mind is talking, your ego is talking about you because it thinks it knows you. So if somebody called you now on the phone from a different country and said, I really don't like you, you're really not the person that you should be, and you judge people too much, and this conversation, this person you'd never met, who had never met you from across the other side of the world, called you and told you, started telling you all kinds of horrible things, you wouldn't take too much weight or put too much stock in what they were saying because they've never met you. Yet we listen to our mind as if it has met us. But all your mind can do is think about you. It's never met you. It's never met you, your mind. It's talking about who it thinks you are. And that could not be more opposite than who you really are. So I'd like you to listen, and we will do a self-compassion thing. I'd like you to listen to what you've said here. It's very close to what I think I need, the loving acceptance of what is meditation. However, I feel that acceptance or love is going from outside to inside, and my inside is empty. So either two things you can do with this. This is the whole crux of it right here. First of all, find out if it really is going from outside to inside. What if that idea is not true? What if that meditation is invoking, inviting, allowing this love that's already here to come from the inside out? What if you flip that over? Can you even ever begin to love yourself if that bit's flipped over? You love yourself anyway, but on the mind and body level I'm talking about here. And find out, if your inside is empty, find out what emptiness is. It's not empty at all. It is so full. I mean, it is full of the universe. The whole cosmos is inside you. Everything that ever was, is, and will be, could be. And that's full. So either flip that one over and see that it's coming from the inside out. Even if I say some loving words to you now, that's still not from the outside in. I am inside you. I am you. I am you showing up to remind you of what you've currently forgotten, in the mind at least. Find out what is inside, like your life depends on it. Find out what this empty inside is. It's empty of substance. It's empty of a someone. It's empty of criticism. It's empty of judgment. It's empty of everything except love. Pure, non-dual love. Just love. Loving your mind and body exactly as they are right now, with no conditions at all possible even. Not even seeing them as a mind and body. So whichever one of those feels, and I would suggest doing both if it's a spiritual emergency like this. Find out what inside really is. And then you won't need anything from anyone else ever. You'll have so much of it that it'll be spilling out of you constantly faster than you could ever manage. It'll just be this infinite supply, just oozing out of you without you even doing anything, and just making everyone around you feel slightly better about themselves. We can talk about this more. I mean, some gurus are signing their pupils to a year of self-compassion meditation. That's okay. I have nothing against that kind of thing. And, horses for courses if it suits some people. But what I did when I first started to hear about self-love was to set out to love myself unconditionally. And because I was feeling unworthy of this love that I was trying to give myself, I realized it must be able to come. I use this practice, this focus, this commitment to self-love as a way to fail and prove my own unworthiness. So, if I gave you a year of, okay, from this point forward for a year, I'd like you to focus on loving yourself. That's only useful if it comes from you wanting to do it, feeling it's time, feeling it's the right thing. Not from, oh my God, I'm so bad, I need to do something about this. I should love myself, but I don't. Can you feel the difference? The first motivation, love is emerging here and I want to help it. That's going to be successful. The second one, you're going to use any practice that's given. You're going to sabotage it unknowingly, as we all do, and then prove your own, in your mind at least, prove your own unworthiness. See, I can't even do this loving compassion meditation thing. Been there, done that. Got 10,000 t-shirts, so they're just saying, more important than any meditation or anything you do is your reason for doing it. The reason for doing any spiritual practice is always the most important thing. Self-love is already beginning to emerge for you, otherwise you wouldn't write something like this. Find out if your mind really knows who you are, and then let me know.